have you join this call. All right. Thank you. So without wasting much of our time, welcome to webinar 3.0. Can we give a reaction? Yes, it's 3.0. Great, great. Thank you so much for that reaction. Thank you. I really appreciate. Yeah. So we are welcome to 3.0. We'll be talking about food safety, how to identify, safe food from market to mouth. And we are really glad to have you all here. Before we go into the webinar in proper, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Tosin Toibo, and I'm the head of people here. All right, thank you, everyone. I can see Emmanuel Ladele. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Chisom. All right. Now, before we go into this session in proper, you know, I'm just asking myself like a simple question: how confident are you with the food you bought in the market? Maybe the last time you went to the market, uh, say Friday, have you over the weekend? Yeah. How confident are you that you're actually eating right? Like you are eating, your food is safe. Yeah, not just the fresh, but safe. So that is the conversation we'll be having today. And I'm glad that our resource person is right on the call. Our resource person is right on the call. Food safety is something many of us assume that we really understand. And with the growing concern that is happening around the world about food, it's something we really need to pay attention to. And I'm glad that Keritop is bringing such a thing, to bless us with. Can we appreciate Keritop? Kindly, celebrate Keritop for bringing this together. Thank you so much. Thank you, David. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so without wasting, talking so much, I'd like us to dive, into why we are here. While I'm doing that, I can see so many of us join the call. Thank you for joining. Kindly put your name, your location, and your expectation for today's webinar, all right? Thank you. I would be glad to see that in the chat box. All right. So resource person for today is actually on the call, is someone who is an expert in this subject matter, is a farmer, uh, is knowledgeable. Yeah, we are confident, of the knowledge we are going to, get at the end of today's webinar. All right. Is a graduate of Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, where he studied plants physiology. Yeah. And is no other person than Ayoade Samuel. Please, I would like, before he takes the mic, I would like us to, give emojis, right? Thank you so much. With joy in our hearts, I would like us to, celebrate Farmer Sam. He's popularly known as Farmer Sam. Farmer Sam, thank you and welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Over to you, Farmer Sam. While Farmer Sam is coming up, kindly drop your name, your location. We'd love to meet you, and your expectation for what you do. If you're a farmer, you're a retailer, because this webinar actually, combine all. You're a farmer, you're a retailer, whatever you do, just put it in the chat box. Thank you. Over to you, Farmer Sam.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Wherever time zone you are joining us from. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Thank you so much, Ms. Oluwatosin. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. And I want to thank everyone for having me. So, today's webinar topic, just as Mr. Oluwatosin said, I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, I can hear
As
you loud and
Oluwatosin said, this is the webinar 3.0. That means we have previously had the webinar 1.0 and the webinar 2.0. So the webinar 3.0, as we have here, with the topic Food Safety 101. Wow. So how to identify safe food from market to mouth. So this topic is what we interact with in our day-to-day activity. But there's no day, if I'm very right, there's no day where anybody that is joining us right now have not probably interacted with food. You have, in one way or the other, eaten. Even today, yes, every one of us have eaten. So, before I move further, I want to randomly do something. Um, Please permit me. I'll randomly pick someone. I want to ask a question, but randomly do that. So, sorry, please, Aremu, sorry, can you all hear
Yes,
me?
I can.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So, may I ask this question, sir? So, have you eaten today, sir?
Definitely.
All right, wow, that's very great. So, permit me to ask, what food do you eat?
I ate rice.
Wow, you ate rice. Wow, wow. Okay, the last question to ask. So, do you really know if the rice you ate, if it's probably safe or not? Can you really tell us if the rice you ate, if you have an idea if it's safe?
Okay, the cooking process or from farm.
No, 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 no. I'm not talking about the cooking process now. Like, do you have an idea if probably the food, the rice itself, is a safe food, right?
I can't guarantee that. I'm not so sure.
All right, all right. Thank you so much for the honest answer. Wow. So, I want us to really look at this topic very well. Do you really know what you are eating, whether it is safe? It's a deep question we need to probably think about. We eat day in, day out. Probably just like me, I hate beans. So, can I really say the food I eat is safe? It's a question because we are a product of what we eat. What we eat day in and day out have, if it has a positive, and if it is unsafe, it has a negative effect on our well-being. So as you dive into this topic, um, the Lord will grant us understanding. So we'll be speaking to how we're speaking to different set of people: farmers, the retailers, the consumers, um, and the household in general. So moving to the next slide. So I want us to understand that it is very important to understand food. Moving to the next slide. Food. So as we were saying earlier, food safety is one of the very important things we need to understand. So moving to the next slide, please. Please, can we all hear me? All right. Thank you so much. So today's agenda, as we have here, So the first, what is food safety and why it matters? The second, what really makes food unsafe? How to identify safe, how to identify safe food at the market, proper food handling from purchase to plate, where the supply chain breaks down, what farmers, retailers, and consumers must do. Then question to answer. So these are the things we are going to talk about. So moving to the next slide. So we're going to see a breakdown of everything. So here we have food safety. So for us to um, probably talk on food safety, we need to understand what does it mean for a food to be safe. So and we get to understand that we are all Nigerians here majorly. So we know that as we probably interact with our environment, we know and we probably see some of these things that we're going to talk about. So we want to probably share an idea of how we can consume safe food and not go for the inferior. So the definition of food safety here said is the practice of handling, preparing, and storing food in a way that prevents contamination and reduces the risk of illness. It covers the entire journey from the farm to your plate. Wow, this is very incredible. So it's saying that food safety is a practice of handling, preparing, and storing food in a way that prevents contamination and reduces the risk of illness. So food safety, it's a process. So beginning from the farm, if the food is safe from the farm, there is a quota that the retailer also needs to put in to maintain the safety of the food. And after the retailer has done his or her part, the consumer also have his own role to play about the food safety. So 600 million people fall ill globally. The WHO estimated 600 million people fall ill every year from contaminated food in Nigeria. Foodborne, di- foodborne illness is responsible for a significant burden of preventable deaths, many of which are children under age 5. Wow. So we can see the effects of food safety on the lifespan
Hello, hello. Can we hear me? Can you give me a reaction if you can hear me? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Great. I guess his network tricked off. Yeah, but while we wait for him to join back, kindly introduce yourself in the chat box. We'd love to meet you. Your name, what you do, and your expectation for this webinar. Kindly do that in in seconds. We'd love to meet you. And while we wait for from Sam to join back, I would say a few things about Sorry, can we hear me? Am I back? All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so I want to say a few things about Keritop. Keritop is a digital agricultural marketplace. All right, and we have a vision. Our vision is to, simplify agricultural value chain and create a seamless marketplace that connects farmers, businesses, and consumer across Nigeria and Africa, and to the world. All right. So if you are here, if you are new here, you are welcome. Oh, Farmer Sam is back. If you are new here, you're welcome. We are glad to have you. Thank you for joining. Farmer Sam, are you back? Can you hear me now? Hello? Okay. Yeah, so I would continue with what I was saying earlier. If you are just joining, meeting Kerito for the first time, we are on all different, we are on different social media platforms. We are on LinkedIn at Kerito. Do well to follow us. A link will be shared in the chat box. Do well to click the link and follow us. We are on Facebook, still Kerito. Yeah, we are on TikTok, Kerito. And our mission is to, to drive a connected and reliable agricultural ecosystem, by aggregating agricultural produce within nearby farm clusters and ensuring efficient logistics, payments, and storage options. So yeah, this is Carry Talk. You will get to know more about what Carry Up is. We have, uh, you know, the CEO Carry Up here on this call. Yeah. Oh, I guess Farmer Sam's network is really, really acting up. All right. So I would like to engage us. Uh, okay. I want to look for name to call. Hi, Debbie. Hello.
So,
Hello. Yes. Good evening to you. Network is really acting up today. I can see a number of persons. Oh, Farmer Sam is back. Farmer Sam, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you, ma.
Great, 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 great. Welcome back. Welcome back. Can you
Uh,
see the screen? Is it still on?
yes, it's visible now.
Right. Great. You can go ahead. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So sorry, everyone, for the break in the network. So, as I was saying earlier, so I said that looking at the statistics, based on what we have here, we say 600 million people fall ill globally. So, due to the statistics by the WHO, you get to understand that this was linked to the safety of food. So what is this saying? So if you on a yearly basis, moving forward, so please, the screen is not visible. Unsafe food costs Nigeria billions annually in healthcare burden, productivity lost, and spoilt trade. Wow. A single contamination incident can destroy a farmer's or retailer's business overnight and erode consumers trust for years. Wow. Nigerian food safety is under pressure. Rapid urbanization, poor cold chain infrastructure, growing use of chemicals in farming, and inadequate regulatory enforcement combine to create a food safety environment where the risk to consumers is real and growing every year. So this is to bring to our notice, as we can see, if you can see the screen. So first is the effect food safety have on the people as a nation in Nigeria, and we could see the consequences of what um, unsafe food is causing in Nigeria and a global level. So moving to the next slide, safe food is not luxury, it is a fundamental right. So the four hazard categories every stakeholder must understand. First, the biological hazard, the second, the chemical hazard, the third, the physical, and the fourth, the environmental. So, speaking based on the first one, it said the most common cause of foodborne illness, bacteria, viruses, parasites, and mold contaminate food at every stage from the farm to your plate. So, unwashed and why handling food. So, these are the aspect what makes your food contaminated. So we are bringing us to the awareness of some certain things that brings or that cause um food that makes your food unsafe. So he said unwashed and why handling food. So he said it is very important for us to wash our hand while handling anything, parasites or whatever. So flies and pests on open market produce. Yes, yes. Yes, so this is to bring to our awareness. There are some of us sometimes. Let me just use an instance. Was it last week when I was on the farm? Uh, so we harvested cucumber. So and one of our workers just picked one of the cucumbers and used his hand to do what? He used his hand to clean it, and he started eating it. I brought it. I said that is very bad. If you want to eat a cucumber, what do? You wash it in the running water first before you even uh probably even put it into your mouth. So I want us to understand that sometimes or probably we take it as a routine, as a habit, that when we want to probably handle or probably eat fruits or whatsoever, if we are not in a position where probably we can get some items to heat the water to probably wash it, you can just wash it under a running water. So the second, the chemical hazard. Chemicals entered food through farming inputs, packaging, and food adulteration. In Nigeria, the excessive or incorrect use of pesticide, the use of banned preservatives, and counterfeit agrochemical are major concerns. Pesticide residue above safe limits on vegetables, bleaching of palm oil using harmful chemicals. So these are the examples concerning chemical hazard. So I'm going to explain this, but I just want to just probably um, touch these four aspects before elaborating on that. So please, if you can hear me, you can just make a reaction. So the third, we have a physical hazard, foreign objects that cause injury, broken glasses, metal shards, stones, bone fragments, or packaging materials contaminating food during handling, processing, and storage. So I think uh, based on this, there was one time ago, I was it cassava or so? It seems for cassava. So that is Gary, our Gary. So I bought a Gary and I saw, was it not, what did I even see there? Yes, I saw the peel. I saw the peel with something that looked like iron inside cassava. So inside Gary, let me make it that way. So I was like, okay, so I have to remove it. Anyways, so stones in dry grains and legumes, metal fragments in milled flour. So the fourth environmental hazard condition in the environment that accelerate food spoilage and contamination: heat, humidity, lack of cold chain, contaminated storage environment, and endemic challenges in the Nigerian food system. So the example is no cold storage causing meat and dairy to spoil, open market with no temperature control. So starting from the chemical aspect of it, now let me move to farmers. And now during our webinar 1.0, we treated the effect of soil testing on deplete. So this is directly probably pointing towards the first webinar we had. As a farmer, majorly, let me say this: a food that is unsafe from the farm cannot be corrected in the kitchen. No matter how, or no matter how the let me put it, the cereal you want to put in the garnishing of the food, as long as it is unsafe from the farm, what you can do is to probably enhance to make it attractive, but the real content of the food is unsafe. So if the farmer itself has a role to play, so what are the things that contribute to an unsafe food directly from the farm? As written here, some of the farm inputs. So what are the farm inputs? These are the substance or everything you put in during the process of producing that food. The fertilizers, the pesticide, the whatsoever, as the herbicide, etc., just like that. Those things, when they are not properly managed, have an effect in the food. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So it said, yeah, in Nigeria, the excessive and the incorrect use of pesticide, the use of banned preservatives. So there are some preservatives that we even use. Even there was a time I heard that the beans that we eat, just the beans I ate today, the beans I ate today. So there was a time that I heard that to preserve it, they use or they call something otapia. So they call something forgotten this poisonous this thing that they use. They used to preserve our beans. So that really amazed me. So, and most of us, or most of the restaurants, or most of the canteens we go to, these people did not notice this thing. So what they do is that they will just pour the beans inside the water. They will just pack everything, put inside the pot, and cook it that way. And you go there to buy the food. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying from this aspect. So how will the illness in the country, how will it not keep increasing when we don't know how to manage our food very well? When we are still engaging in this aspect of farming, how will the health of humanity reduce it? It can't reduce in that way. So we have to take it as a responsibility as a farmer. We have to take it as a responsibility as a retailer. We have to take it to the next slide. So this is unsafe. So we talked about the chemical hazard. So moving to the next slide, you can move to the next slide. our meal. We see it in our meal, and it is not healthy. So we need to take it as a responsibility as a producer, as a retailer, and etc. So sorry, this picture is not really it's not it's not really showing what exactly you should present. So this is just a glimpse of what the safe food looks like. So it's a pictorial guide what to look for at the market. So the safe food, what good looks like. Okay, so this is saying that what good food looks like. We see an example of the tomatoes, carrots, fish, the veggies, the egg here. So bright, vibrant color, tomatoes, deep red, green, rich, and cream. So we have fish eyes, clear and bright, deals. So we have etc. Vegetables, firm, upright, egg, instant, no crack. Then moving to the unsafe food, we can see it there. So what is the difference between these two things? Once some of these things, sometimes um, we ignore these things based on the fact that the prices are kind of affordable to be compared with the healthy ones. But this is at the detriment of our health. Sometimes when you go to a place to get fish, you will see that the fish itself, my God, you will see that the fish itself is not really famimorious, just like any, it's not really attractive. But because of the fact that the price is cheap, you will get it, and not knowing that this thing have a effect negatively on your health. It may not really, you may not see the repercussion or the consequences of doing that immediately, but the accumulation of these things lead to a poor health. So I want us to take our health very important. When we go to the market, these are the visible um part of the produce that you can probably see. Okay, this food is safe, this food is unsafe. Taking for instance, when we go to the dealers of pepper tomatoes, you will see some tomatoes that are already getting spoiled already. You will see the one that are very good. This one that are good, probably they're selling it probably a sum of 2,000 naira per kg. But the one that are not good, probably they're selling it for 1,000 per kg. So when you check everything, check and balance, you say, it is better. Let me go for this. Let me take 1 kg of good ones. Let me take 1 kg of bad ones and balance it up. It's not meant to be done that way. Our health is very important. Health is wealth. So moving to the next slide. When in doubt, leave the food out. When you are doubting about a food, when you see a food, when you see the appearance of the food, when you see the So as I was saying earlier, still expecting the slide to pop up. So as I was saying earlier, our food is very important. Don't, because of the price of food, go for the inferior, because it will cost you much at the end of it. it will cost you your time, because when you get ill, you will have to sacrifice a lot of time that you don't want to sacrifice willingly. So thank you very much. So for the first stage of it said, at the market, buy from clean, well kept store. Hmm. Carry meats and fish in separate bags. So this is to us. But when we go to the market, when you go to the market to get food, buy from clean and well kept store. Don't, because this particular woman in the market, her food is cheap, and the environment, the way she packs her food, it's in an unclean environment, on an unsafe environment. Don't, because of that, go get from her. Prioritize getting from a clean and a well-kept store. So carry meat and fish in separate bag from vegetables. So this is telling us that we should not put the vegetables and the fish and meat in the same bag. Let it be separated from each other, because there can be contamination between this. So buy only when you want to use it. Avoid excess that gets spoiled. So this is bringing to us the ability to manage our food, the ability to ensure that you get what you want to use. To avoid spoilage, and so that you eventually say, I was kind of hungry. And I was walking by the roadside, and I saw this man selling buns on the way. But the buns was open to the air. You know, we have to make this a habit of not, when we have to make this a habit of ensuring that our health is very much important. We may just overlook this. The dust that probably lands on the bones, everything, God, the contamination on the in the hair that probably the bones even absorb, and you will go there to buy the buns. I'm just using that for example because that is what I experienced. Some of these, just like that, if I begin to probably ask us some questions, or probably give us the opportunity to speak, some of us will give a lot of example of that. A lot of us have experienced that. Even this is even saying that there are some of us that into the consciousness that we need to stop it. Buying pre-cut leftover food, not leftover food, buying pre-cut fruits that are open to the air is not good for the health, because you can't say what the fruit has absorbed. The generation that we are now, we understand that the air itself is not pure. I don't know if you understand. The air itself is not pure. So why now? Oh my God. So please, I want us to probably take this very serious. Take this very serious. We that get our fruit from their bookies, I take this as a responsibility. I take this very important. When I go to our bookie to get watermelon, I told them not to cut my sorry, to buy orange. I told them not to cut the orange with their knife. So I decided it's not, because there was a day and the knife mistakenly cut his hand, and he continued using like that. So now just imagine, you just go there and get the orange just like that. My God. So because of our time, I want to just make this snappy. So the transport and storage refrigerates perishable foods within 2 hours of purchase. Okay, we're talking about perishable food. Food that can get spoiled easily, just like tomatoes, pepper, etc. Just like that. Store raw meat on the lower shelf. You put your cooked food. You don't store it the same place. You don't store your meat in the same place. You store your veggies, so it should be different. So it's saying here that you store them in a lower shelf. So keep dry goods in sealed container away from moisture and pest. So leave cracked food unopened at room temperature for more than 2 hours is very, very wrong. So meat, store food near chemicals, cleaning produce, cleaning products, or insecticide. Yes, this is just bringing us to the awareness of this. Just like I mentioned earlier about the beans use the chemicals to preserve the beans. It is very, very wrong. So if even if you don't have an idea of, you can do gasless. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. You know, when you heat beans, there is an idea of it that you gas, right? So you notice that when he parboils his beans, probably just I don't not really parboil. It means probably after washing it, pour it inside there, and when the water is hot a little bit, then and he filter the water away and cook it there. You notice that it gasless. So preparation said wash. Now this is towards the consumers now. Said wash ends thoroughly with soap for 20 seconds before handling food. This is talking about the retailer and the consumer and everybody entirely. Wash all fruits and vegetables under running water before eating or cooking. Don't be in an haste to probably cut your thing and put it into the food like that. Use separate cutting board for raw meat and for vegetables. So moving to the next, cooking and serving. So cook meat, poultry, and fish to save internal temperature. No pink inside. Bring soup and sausage to a full rolling boil when reheating. Hot food. Serve food hot and cool food cold. So this is saying that if the food is hot, you serve it hot, and if it's cold, you serve it cold. So reheating food more than once. This is talking to Nigerians. So reheating food for multiple times is not really healthy. It's not really healthy. Taking vegetables, for instance, vegetables are not food that needs to be heated for a long period of time because it is going to lose some of its nutrients. So when we eat food for up to 4 times, it's already losing the real intention for probably going into it. So moving to the next slide. So don't judge meat by its color alone. A meat is not really known by its color alone when it is done. So you ensure that it is well cooked and for a certain period of time. Moving to the next slide. I want to make it very snappy so I could explain some of certain things then. Okay, moving to the next slide. So the farm to market danger zone most people never see. So at the farm, reuse or incorrect timing of pesticide and herbicide contaminates crops. Irrigation with untreated, polluted water introduce bacteria and heavy metals. Lack of personal protective equipment means farmers handling chemical contaminates produce directly, affecting mature crops or using banned ripening agents to meet farm demand. So this is talking to the farmers directly now, because a farmer majorly have his role to play. Just as I said earlier, food unsafe from the farm cannot be corrected in the kitchen. So what are the things that contribute to food what are the things that contribute for a food to be unsafe? So when a farmer do not have an understanding of the right dosage of the chemical is meant to spray, the pesticide, the herbicide, it has a negative impact in the soil itself, and it also have it in the food. So a farmer itself, if we have farmers joining us, it is important for us to take it as a responsibility to get knowledge based on the chemicals we are spraying. Are we spraying the chemical at the right time? Are we spraying this herbicide at the right rate, the right dosage per the area of land you are engaging this on? Because these have effect on the crop itself. So we have irrigation with untreated polluted water introduce bacteria and heavy metals. So we have lack of personal PPE means farmer handling chemicals contaminate produce directly. So this is to the farmers also, that as a farmer, when you are spraying all these things, you have to ensure that you maintain a personal protective um, equipment use. So you have to ensure that you use them. So why do you need to use them? Because, for example, you may be you may mistakenly or you may handle any produce, and by that you are using the chemicals sprayed to directly affect the produce. So some of farmers, because of the fact that you want to meet the market demand, because of the fact that Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C is requesting for a required quantity of produce to get from you, because and you do not have the capacity to supply that, gradually contribute to the death rate of um, people in the world globally, the death rate of people in Nigeria itself, that the health issue globally is being reduced. So these are the things we need to do. These are the things we need to know. If you want to engage in the use of chemicals, ensure that you understand the right way to use these chemicals. Perishable foods. So open trucks, expose food to dust, etc. Poor road infrastructure causes physical damage and bruises, which leads to more spoilage. Mixing raw meat with vegetable in same transportation it's very wrong. So this is bringing us to the notice of the fact that perishable foods during transportation is ideal that it is refrigerated. So it's also saying that when engaging in transportation, ensure that the truck is well secured. Ensure that the produce is not exposed to dust, is not exposed to exhaust flame and cross contamination with other cargoes. So the next, ensure that there is a limit to the produce damage because of bad road infrastructure. So sorry, I mean not the next slide. So thank you. So and not mixing raw meat with vegetables. So at the market now, open air display expose food to flies, etc. No cold chain at the point of sales. Fish, meat sold at ambient temperature all days. Water used to freshening produce often come from contaminated source. No hygiene standard or enforcement. Vendor handle money and food simultaneously. Wow. So in process, unhygienic processing environment with poor pest control and no sanitation protocols. Use of expired use of expired ban counterfeit food addictive and preservation, no traceability. A single contaminated batch can't be traced or recalled. Staff with no food safety training handling food without protective clothes. So moving to the next slide. So me explaining this now, at the market, we need to understand that we should not now talking to the retailers now. Okay, yeah. So I've talked to the farmers. So the retailers now, if you are selling your food, you need to ensure that every aspect from your own side is done. Everything from your own side is done. You don't expose all this food to flies. You are probably in the you are involved in probably in the sales of fish. You don't expose your fish to the air just like that, and you ensure that it is well refrigerated to reduce spoilage. So if you are selling meat, you are selling probably fruit or vegetable produce, you don't mix it with meat produce. You don't store them in the same place. So these are the things we need to understand. And for us selling vegetables, you don't take a contaminated water. Some of us probably goes to the river or probably a water source that we don't know what it contains, and use it to freshen up our vegetables so it will look cool. We need to understand what we are doing before we engage in doing it. So practical food safety action for everyone in the food chain. The farmer observe pre-harvest interval on all pesticide. This aspect, let me talk to my farmers. This aspect, we need to understand this very well. We need to put this into action, not just understanding it, we need to put it into action. Every chemical we use, there is a pre-harvest interval. The fungicide is used, the pesticide, the insecticide is used. There is a pre-harvest interval. What is the pre-harvest interval means? It means that it you must use after spraying it, you must not harvest the crop for this period of time. I don't know if you understand. So if you harvest it for this period of time, there is a negative effect it has. It may not be visible as it is, but there is a negative effect it has to the health of the consumers. There are some, the pre-harvest period is 3 days, some 7 days, some 14 days. So now, because you are in your harvest period and you don't want to reduce the number of lots, if you want to ensure this, then you go for produce that have a lesser pre-harvest interval. I don't know if you understand. Why do you need to buy 14 days pre-harvest interval when you know that you are doing your harvest period? You know your harvest is within 7 days, and you are buying a produce, a chemical that is within 14 days pre-harvest interval. So we need to understand this. We need to put it into action. It's not just by gaining the knowledge alone. We need to engage it in action. So for those okay, so when I'm talking about farmer, I'm talking about everybody in general now. I'm talking about the crop productionist. I'm talking about the animal productionist. Now, so you are engaged in probably broiler production, you are engaged in layer production. This is also applies to, there is a pre-harvest interval on it. There's a stage when you use a certain drug for probably your animals, probably layers or broilers. You don't sell that produce within that period of time. If you sell it at that within that period of time, it has a negative effect on humans. So we need to understand this. We need to put it into action. If you're a layer, probably a farmer that's into layer production, you need to ensure this. Whatever drug you are giving to your layers, chickens, you ensure that during this period to this period, you don't. If you won't do that, don't give them that drug. I don't know if you understand that. So also talking to our broiler farmers in broiler production, don't sell out your broiler chicken or your birds when you know that the pre-harvest interval in for the harvest is probably 7 days, and you are selling it in just 3 days. Please, let's work on that, because it has an effect on the health of we itself. We may not know the chicken we are buying. I may go to the market now, I don't know the chicken I'm buying. So we are still coming to that for the consumers. We are still coming to that. So test your irrigation water source at least once a season for contamination. Test your irrigation source. So I don't need to buttress more on this. So use certified registered agrochemical only. Avoid counterfeit inputs. So do I need to buttress more on this? Okay, let me just chip in little things. So as a farmer, don't just go for any other product. Ensure that the product you are using is registered, is certified, and you are not using a banned product. So that is that. Wash hands and wear gloves when handling chemicals near harvest times. Dry grains produce dry grain properly before storage. Moisture is the gateway to aflatoxin. So now this is talking about the grain. You don't expose your grain to moisture. You should ensure that these grain are stored, are very much dry before you store them. For maize, ensure that the maize is dry to is it 5%? I can't remember. Moisture content. Ensure it is dry to that required moisture content before you store them. Document what you spray, when, and at what rate you spread them. This is what we call traceability. So moving very fast to the retailers, keep raw fish, meat away from vegetables, just as we said earlier. Change displayed water for fresh fish frequently. Okay. Do not use non-food grade water to freshen produce. Remove and discard spoilage item immediately. One bad item contaminates the other. Maintain basic hygiene, clean hands, covered food, pest-free store environment. Know your supplier. Buy from farmers who can verify and are well trusted. Buy from verified farmers and farmers who you can trust, who are trusted farmers, not just by what they say, but what they do. So the consumers watch all fresh produce. So these are the aspects, I've talked about the farmers, retailers, this is what you need to do. Then I'm moving to the consumers now. Who, as a consumer, wash your fresh produce under running water before eating, even if you will peel it. Some of us may say, okay, I don't want to eat it. I don't want to eat it like that. I want to peel it first. Wash it. Cook meat, fish, and egg to safe temperature. No bloody or raw center. Refrigerate leftover within 2 hours and reheat thoroughly before eating. Do not eat food store where flies are present or hygiene is visibly poor. Check NAFDAC number on all packaged food before purchasing. Teach children basic food hygiene. It protects the whole family. So, the government and regulation enforce NAFDAC and so etc. like that. Moving to the next slide, so I can just round off everything. Our time is fast spent. Our time is fast spent. Moving to the next slide. So these are the practical ways to ensure food safety for everyone. If you're a farmer, if you're a retailer, if you are a consumer, these are the things you need to do. Health is wealth. Moving to the next slide. Health is wealth. The soil safety connection. Why healthy soil means safer food. So this is in relation to the farm itself. It said soil health determines nutritional safety. So reference to the first webinar we had talking about soil testing, how it affects the plates. So this was in relation to this was shared. So soil health determines nutritional safety. Plant draws up minerals from the soil. Healthy soil produce crop dense in zinc, etc. The nutrients that support immune and health. The greatest soil produce nutritional empty food that looks normal but deliver less protection to the people eating it. Talking about the pesticide overuse, starts with poor soil. Contaminated soil means contaminated water. Soil testing is equal to food safety documentation. Just to put this all in one word, in a sentence. So one thing I was speaking to now, those who had farm, probably backyard farm or whatever, our food is uh God is so great that He has fashioned things in the right way. So our food majorly sometimes due to the use or the overuse of some of these fertilizers and chemicals deprive the crop of getting some of these nutrients to impute in the food. When you look at a tomatoes, was it not? I was speaking with a friend of mine earlier today. So I told him that, do you know that beans is not a protein, is a carbohydrate. It contains content, high nutritional content in aspect of carbohydrate than a protein. So there are some of this crop, let me use for instance, maize. There is a nutritional content of carbohydrate in a maize. But the maize that we eat nowadays, I can tell you that the nutritional content in that maize is not up to the required value of the nutrition we should get from a maize. So these are what contributes to that. The overuse of these chemicals, it kills the soil. So just to fasten everything, moving to the next slide, probably that will be engaged in the question and answer because of our time. So what you now know about food safety. Food safety is about preventing contamination at every stage, from the farm through the transport and the market to your kitchen and even in your plate. You don't expose it. You can identify unsafe food using your senses, sight, smell, touch are your first line of defense at the market. When in doubt, leave it out. When you're in doubt of this produce based on the sight, based on your smell, based on the way when you touch it, leave it out. So proper handling, washing ends, correct storage, safe cooking temperature prevent most cases of foodborne illness in the home. The supply chain has multiple danger zones: the farm, the transport, the market, and processing. Each requires different actors to take different responsibility. So this is saying that every actors in this supply chain has a responsibility to play. If the farmer plays his own responsibility, the one engaged in the transport play is our own responsibility, and the one at market decided not to play is the responsibility. It will have an effect on the food and the consumer even eating the food. So healthy soil is the foundation of food safety. Degraded soil leads to more pesticide, more residues, and more nutritional empty food on your plate. You may be eating the same food, but with a lesser nutritional content than the required content you should get from the food. So, food safety is everyone's responsibility. It both the farmer responsibility, it both the retailer responsibility, it both the consumer responsibility, the government itself. No single actor can solve this alone. It takes a whole food system. So everyone has to take it as a responsibility from the farmer to the consumer. If a farmer play his role onto the place of the retailer, the consumer itself also need to play his role. In refrigerating it, you need to play your role. In cooking it at the right temperature, you need to play your role. In serving it, not exposing it to air after cooking it, you need to play your role. So thank you everyone for giving us your attention. Uh, so now we can move to the next slide. So this is we're open to question and answer. All right. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Farmer Sam. I would love us to celebrate Farmer Sam. It's been awesome. We have learned new things. I believe that food matter is what affects all, both consumer, the farmer, the retailer, and I'm sure that they are not probably new, but you have learned one thing consciously. You are going to take action. Yeah, we are going to take action. So now is the time to hear from you. Thank you so much. If you have a question, kindly do well to put them in the chat box or a raise of hand. All right. You can ask, you can raise your hand here, or you put a question in the chat box. All right. I can see your question. Okay. The person is saying, is this a major issue in Nigeria today, or is it worth solving? Okay. Also, number two, does Carry Talk plan on being part of the solution and how? All right, great question. Great question. Farmer Sam,
Okay, please can you help me with the question one after the other, please?
okay, yeah. The first question says, is this a major issue in Nigeria today, or is it worth solving? Yeah.
Yes. So it's a very great issue in Nigeria. I won't lie to you. It's a great issue in Nigeria, and to be sincere, looking at it, it is worth solving because it at the expense of our health, just as the statistics shown there. in the slides presented to us, there are a lot of people. Let me just probably say this. Do you know that majority of our illness is directly um, pointing to the food we eat? Let me put it in another way. The food we eat, um, the food we eat every day in and day out have a direct effect on our health. So most times, this how will I put it now? These antibodies, they don't have enough strength to fight these probably these diseases that are coming into the body because the nutritional content that the body will needed to get at a certain time from a certain food is not getting it. So it is what solving. It is what solving. What is much important is that everyone needs to take it as a responsibility. It's not one thing that a farmer can do. A farmer can do if the farmer decided to do his own part. What about the retailer? If the retailer decides to do his own part, what about the consumer? He or herself. We all have a role to play. So I guess um, I've answered that question.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Farmer Sam. Yeah, thank you for that question, for answering that question. Can we celebrate Farmer Sam, please? Let's celebrate Farmer Sam. He answered that question perfectly. This is what concerns everyone. Is a problem in Nigeria, and yeah, and that is why Keritop is bringing this together so that all the stakeholder involved, from the farmer, the retailer, and even we that consume the food. Yeah, we all have a responsibility. We have a role to play. Yes, thank you so much. Other question can keep coming in. If you have question, you can raise your hand. You want to know more about Kerito, just ask your question. Be free. I would love to give answers to your question. All right, still asking for question. We have few minutes more. If you have questions, kindly, put your question in the chat box or you raise your hand.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought the previous question we were kind of asking two questions, two different questions.
Okay. Yes, 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 yes. The second question say, um, okay, does Kerto plan on being part of the solution and how?
Okay, so the person is asking about the plan of Curritup. Okay. All right. So if we based on um the presentation we had now, we talked about beginning from the farmer, the role the farmer has to play, the role the retailer has to play, the role the consumer has to play itself. Now, it's now for the consumer. Consumer made up his or her mind that you want to ensure that he or she eats safe food. So that is when Keritop comes in. Keritop ensures that you get your produce directly from a verified farmer who engage on safe practices. What does that mean by that? Engaging on the fact that there is no use of banned produce, there is right application of these chemicals even when used, and um, and less dependence on chemicals involving in the use of integrated farming. So that is based on that. To the retailers also, to ensuring that these foods are get from the right farmer and to the required recipient who is getting the produce, if it's the consumer, if it's the retailer. So that is that concerning that aspect. So CarryTop really adds a solution to that, and that is just the little glimpse I just gave us now.
Now, come on now, come on now. Can we celebrate Kerry Top? Celebrate Kerry Top. Yeah, Kerry Top have a solution to, to give. We are not just looking at addressing the problem, we are solving the problem. Yeah, we are not just analyzing it, we are solving the problem. All right, thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause for guests today. Papa Sam has really, you know, done just that. Great. We have someone raise hand. Great. Thank you, Aremu Kendi. Over to you. You can go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thanks to the organizers, thanks to the first person, Mr. Sam. That's a beautiful question. So, my question is, you know, as true as it is that every farmer is trying to, you know, do their part in food security, the truth still means that they also want to make profit. And, all these inorganic method of, let me say, fertilizer. We have inorganic fertilizers, inorganic herbicide, and all these things, pesticides. We actually see their results, and I also personally I know the on our climate, on the food we eat, and on our health. They have adverse effects, they have bad effects on our health and all. But we have organic ways of actually preventing all these things. We have organic fertilizers, organic herbicide, organic pesticides. But based on experience and findings, I've seen that most of these things, I mean the organic ways of doing all these things, they don't actually bring out the results that inorganic method actually gives to us, especially in the fertilizer aspect. The result we get using the inorganic is actually always better in terms of profitability, okay, and produce, always better than what's it called, the organic method. I know farmers they actually want to make profit. That's why they go into this farming and all of that. So how do we my question is this now. How do we solve the problem in such a way that farmers are going to benefit in terms of profit, and because I believe this is actually what can actually make all these things are going to be effective, a way that it will be profitable to the farmer as well as the consumers. The consumers they will be getting what is needed for their health, and farmers today are actually going to be profitable in what they are doing. So I've noticed that this organic way of doing these things is actually is not they are not their effect is not fast like on plants. Their effect is not that very fast. That's one. And to get this material is very, very, I think, is hard, is not really accessible. So I don't know, is there a way to easily access all these materials to actually do maybe organic compost, all these things, all these organic way of controlling all these things? First, I think the one that I see that people use very well and it's still very, very effective and fast, like inorganic, is all this neem oil, neem cake, and hair. But other ones like fertilizers, they are not easily accessible and they are not their reactions are not fast on plants, even though they don't have adverse effects on humans. So how do we is there a way that we can make these organic uh, fertilizers, organic herbicide and pesticides like it will make our farm produce to be more profitable, and it can also affect human health so that farmers can be able to consider going purely organic than inorganic. I don't know if my question is getting. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Aremu. Are you a farmer? Are you a farmer first of, or you're a retailer?
I am, I am a farmer.
Oh, great, great, amazing. Farmer Sam, over to you. Did you get his question?
Yeah, I get his question rightly. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Remo, for bringing that to our awareness. So, if I get that question rightly now, so talking about the fact that how can we ensure that as a farmer we want to ensure that we make profit, and in other way we want to ensure that we also maintain food safety. So, okay, that is a very good one. Thank you so much for that question. So, one thing I want to chip in here is that I hope you can all hear me. Uh, Majorly, anything synthetic when it comes to inorganic fertilizer gives directly to the plant. It's not given to the soil. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So when you are saying you're applying nitrogen, urea to the soil, you are applying it indirectly. You're applying it directly to the soil, but the plant is the one getting it. Any of these synthetic thing that stays in the soil has a negative effect on the soil. So now to the organic way of it, just as you said. So this organic, when you look at the effect, you see that it is probably not, they're not even comparable at all, at all. For instance, now using poultry manure, I think poultry manure is the is one of the manure that has the high um nutrient for the plant and has high nitrogen content majorly. So when you apply poultry manure to a certain plant or to the soil, you will see that the poultry manure you applied, the nitrogen is given there, it's not to be compared with that which you when you apply urea to it. And one thing there is that these synthetic fertilizers, they release their nutrient very, very fast. When you apply it now, by tomorrow, next tomorrow, you're already seeing the effect on the plant. But that is not so to organic. Organic reduces its own gradually. Using poultry manure for instance, it reduces it gradually. So let me just chip one of these in again. Synthetic fertilizers takes from the soil. Organic fertilizers gives to the soil. I don't know if you understand it. So one of the ways to um, probably um, see visibly that this soil is healthy is by the visual um, presence of all these what do you call it now? All these biological microbes, the earthworm, you see some of these things on the soil. Majorly, we see that this most of soil that we plant now, they don't majorly have all those things. So, what do we need to do as a farmer to ensure that our soil is safe, our plant is safe, and the food we are producing is safe, and also we are also making profit? How do we do that? Now, this is what I thought is the best idea. So I feel the best idea to ensure that is what we call the integrated system. The integrated system of it. So it's I think I won't call it a dual thing. It's an integrated one. So as long as we use probably, let's say we use what do you call it now? Synthetic fertilizers, synthetic fertilizer for a stage in the crop. Let me say for instance now, incorporating manure, poultry manure in the soil before planting. I don't know. I think Mr. Aremu will understand what I'm trying to say. So for the farmers, incorporating poultry manure to the soil before planting. So what are you doing in that way? You are as well providing the required nutrient to the soil even before planting the thing. So when you plant it, it will be able to get it. And probably during the planting period, probably 2 weeks or 4 weeks, when you see the effect of the poultry manure you applied, then you now apply, probably it's you really want to apply to the distance. You apply the urea at the right quantity. So after applying the right quantity, then probably based on the spraying aspect of it, you incorporate, instead of using a synthetic probably pesticide all through, you probably interchange neem oil with another. When getting to probably the harvest season, I said something earlier based on the pre-harvest interval. So you notice that there's infestation of insects on your farm, and you need to address that. So instead of using all these synthetic materials that has a longer pre-harvest interval, why don't you go for neem oil? I don't know why I'm saying fertilizer. Why don't you go for neem oil? So when you go for neem oil, there is an insignificant effect on the produce because it's an organic way. So I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So to answer your question rightly, the best way to maintain profit and to ensure the safety of the consumers is engaging in integrated farming. So thank you very much. I don't know if I don't answer it to your right taste, you can probably talk on that, sir.
Thank you, Farmer Sam. Thank you. Uh, Aremu Kehinde, is your question answered? Yeah? Okay, you can just give a reaction. Oh, great. Thank you so much. All right. If you have other questions, you can drop them in the chat box. You can drop them in the chat box. We would give answer to them. Yeah, and thank you everyone for joining. So before we go, we have on the call with us this evening. Please, I would like us to celebrate this person I'm about to introduce to us. If is please, let's give our emojis. Yeah, let's celebrate this person I'm about to mention. Thank you for celebrating this person I'm about to mention. If he didn't get the vision, we might not be here. He's a visionary. Behind Keritop, he's the one and only. He's the CEO of Keritop. Yeah, he's a passionate, lover of God and lover of agric. Yeah, and I kid you not, there is more to Keritop. He's going to share insights into what Keritop is all about, and yeah. Without so much, I would like to welcome. Let's celebrate, please. Join me as I welcome no other person than Emmanuel Oladele, CEO Kerito. Thank you, thank you. Over to you, sir. Hi, Emmanuel. Are you here? Okay, great. Go ahead.
All right, good evening, everyone. Um, I really, I think I should just say very little because Farmer Sama said a lot, and the HR has also said a whole lot too. So thank you, everyone. I mean, if she said if I didn't receive the vision, Carry Top will not be here. But without the people, also the vision will suffer. So if you are not also here, there will not be carried up. So I want to appreciate everyone that is here, taking out time to be here. I mean, you could have been somewhere else, but you chose to be to this webinar. So thank you. Um, big thank you to everyone. So I really learned a lot from today's webinar. In fact, although having an engineering background is making me consider a second level degree in agriculture, especially when Farmer Sam was mentioning integrated farming. So I hope the CTO will join me and probably CEO. So can we please appreciate the CEO also, Madika Chisom, the CTO, David Adebiran, the CFO, Favor, and Boy. Farmer Sam is our farmer relation officer, and our human personnel, Tosin Tonibo. So I just wrote down a few that I really learned a lot. That cost of inferior, and I hope I'm sure we learned a lot also. That the cost of inferior food cost more, and clean environment is part of food safety. When we are in doubt, we should leave the food. There's a saying that we are what we eat, and we must also be concerned about what our food is eating or is feeding on also. So thank you, team, for and everyone for putting that together. So carry it up. Out of a deep passion for agriculture, we see Keritop as, if you call it a business, you're right. If you call it an agri-tech company, you're right. And we see it as a vision or as a mandate that we've been given by God as a kingdom business. That's the okay. I'll just give you one of. We have core values. Our name, from Keritop. I'll just give you the first K. Maybe in another webinar, or maybe the HR will tell us some other time. The first K is kingdom minded, and we want to, we have a lot of passion for agriculture. We notice that farmers work hard, but they lack fair and reliable markets. We also notice that retailers face inconsistency supply and pricing. So Carrot fixes the broken link in agriculture Africa's food system. So Carrot is just like a bridge that connects the existing infrastructure together from the farm directly to the market. Currently, we carried out a lot of an extensive research. I mean, we did together with the team about, I think, about 8 to 10 weeks, just on the field, on the market, trying to find out what the people really need, because we don't want to build the next redundant farmer app. We don't want to be the next application or with the next technology that will not be useful. So, and we realize that food prices, they are high, and also there's inconsistency in supply. And also at the same time, we also realize that one of the things that makes food prices high is lack of structured aggregation, putting food together for many people. That's simple aggregation. Then also logistics ASOs, a lot of that. And in the light of that, we actually launch, or let me say, are launching our first product, or our MVP, that's a minimum viable product, to test the market and to validate our ideas. So there's a saying that every business model is right on paper. So it's when we get to the market that we really know whether, what's in the paper. There are some, of course, there will always be adjustments that must be made, and that's what makes us a business to also thrive. So when our MVP phase, we called it Genesis. That's the first, like the first product we are launching. So, and the goal of Genesis is to connect the farmers directly with neighborhood markets. So, for instance, I'm sure most of us are perhaps familiar with Lagos. So, Mile 12 is a major market, one of the biggest markets. I believe probably the biggest market in West Africa, or one of the biggest. So, and you can say Ogba market. There's Ogba. Ogba is like a smaller market. So we noticed that there's nobody really aggregating food for the small markets or the neighborhood markets, and the neighborhood market is where you and I most likely get. We get consumers get most of their produce from the nearby markets, or like a nearby market that is, let's say, closest to your house, something like that. So we are looking at aggregating for the neighborhood markets as we are launching our first product. So, and that is going to be bringing a lot of ease for our retailers. We are bringing the food down from the market, from the farm directly to them. Nobody's doing that for them. So we are answering a question. We are actually solving a problem, and we are also we have contacts with farmers that we are working with to give us reliable supply. And also, in building that model, also we've been able to um, our first model, I believe, will be able to reduce food price by 10 to 12%. So we are not taking the whole profits. We also want, we want food to be affordable for consumers and to be available for retailers. So I would like us to, if this webinar has um, been helpful or perhaps insightful, so you can, you know, stay tuned to Carry Talk channel. We're on social media platform, LinkedIn, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, and we're also on WhatsApp. You can join our WhatsApp channel to receive updates. If you're a farmer and you want to connect with Carrot, you can also reach out to us. If you're a retailer, food retailer, you sell food, or a food vendor also, we are looking at food vendor also, or we'll be looking at food vendor at some point. You can reach out to us at Carrot and see how we can work together to build a very strong structure for Africa food system. So I'll close with this note. Africa's current population is about 1.5 billion. Yeah, I was about to say dollars, but not dollars, people. So we're about 1.5 billion people. In 2025, that's in the next 24 years, we are projected, the projected population is to reach about 2.5 billion. Africa is, I believe, the fastest or one of the fastest growing continents. So as the people are growing and increasing, for us to actually build the Africa that we want, we must also build our food system, a sustainable food system. I mean, people eat food. So, and we've seen a lot of revolution in technology, especially in the fintech, the likes of OPay, MoneyPoints, Flutter, Paystack, and all. So, we want to also see Carrot as a giant in technology in Nigeria and in Africa, providing solution for every household and meeting communities' need, meeting nationwide need, and also meeting Africa's need, and also being a contribution to food system in the world. So thank you all for joining us this evening, and let's all have a blessed evening and night. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you. I would like us to appreciate him. Please, appreciate him, celebrate him. Thank you. And we want to thank each and every one of you, for joining this webinar. I see you, Peace Pius, Sorochi. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Success. Thank you, Prince. Thank you, Aremu. Thank you, Favor. Thank you. Everyone on this call. I saw Chikeze Emmanuel. Thank you for joining. We are glad to have you here. I saw something earlier. She's no longer on the call. I saw a couple of persons, you know, I guess their network kicked them out. So he had mentioned what Carrot Hub, is all about. And we have our, contact here, the social media. Do well to connect with Carrot Hub on LinkedIn, social media, Facebook, TikTok, and we also have a WhatsApp community. If you're a farmer here on this call, you need to be on that WhatsApp community. And Carrot Hub, is working with all the stakeholder, all stakeholder in in food in agric. Yeah, if you have in a way you think you can be a beneficial, just join us on these various platforms, Facebook. We have educated content, to help you. Also, there are, as you mentioned, the Genesis launch. You can be part of what we are doing. Yeah, this is a vision that we yeah, it's a big vision, and we trust God. Really, we trust God. So yeah, if you are joining here for the first time, you're welcome. And this is to tell us that it's a monthly thing. We are currently on 3.0, and by God's grace, next month we are going to have another amazing topic, and you don't want to miss it, right? We have dealt with a number of things. We believe the problem of in agriculture, yeah, it's it's not until we build a solution. The little things we do now, yeah, we are grateful for the impact. All right, and there are more to come. There are more to come. So thank you, everyone. We really celebrate you, and we would love you. We would love to have you in our community. Yeah. So do well to follow us on different social media platform. We would be glad. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Also, like I said, if you're a farmer, don't leave this call before. I mean, if you have not filled the form, yeah, click on the form that was shared. There's a form. If you didn't register for this event and we are here on the call, kindly, do well to register. All right. And if you have any information or you want to inquire about Scary Talk, you can contact us at scarytalk@gmail.com. All right. I will be glad, to uh, hear from you, and we look forward to that. All right. So just before we leave the call, finally, we would love to have like a picture moment. So it's picture time. If you are not camera shy, would love you to turn on your camera, and if you are in a littered environment, yeah, you can turn on your camera. Let's take a snapshot. Hi, David. Are you set for that? Would love to take a snapshot. Yeah, thank you for turning on your camera. Would love to see your faces. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, okay, okay. Thank you, everyone. If Yeah, I believe
CBJ, I'm so sorry. I'm not in my house at the moment. I'm in a public
that's
place.
that's fine. Absolutely fine. Thank you so much, everyone. We look forward to having you on uh another, you know, webinar. That's next month by God's grace. We do have a webinar on a monthly basis, and this is 3.0. As I mentioned, we'll be having 4.0 by God's grace in the month of May, and we look forward to to it. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, and do have a great day and a blessed week. And please, let's celebrate our speaker for today before we go. Yeah, thank you for my son. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah, and let's take responsibility. All the little things that we have been doing unconsciously, let's be conscious of our actions. Yeah, food is life. Yeah, let's be conscious. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye for now. Bye, everyone.